Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution. My name is Wilfred. So in the past, when I was playing a lot of Marvel heroes, I enjoy making guides for new players and beginners to get into the game and enjoy the game. Likewise for this mobile game, I do find that I learned quite a fair bit in the past couple of weeks. And I'd like to share my experience with you on the 15 tips how to down the bosses, story bosses without spending money in the shop and so on. So there are 15 very good tips, and I'll write down in the description below in case you would like to revisit some of those points that you hear here. So I hope you stay on, and for those who are very experienced with this game, do share in the comment box below if you have other tips you'd like the new player to pick up as well. Now, what I do find this game, like this is a mobile game and it's a really fun game. I find that when it comes to story bosses, it can be really hard at times, and it is a blocker because you cannot progress beyond certain level if you do not overcome the bosses. You get stuck, and you could grind for XP, but it's going to be very slow if you would like to take XP elsewhere. So it is very essential for you to be able to overcome the bosses after bosses and after bosses. Now, I do come across situation whereby the boss's fight seems really hard, and at times I really wanted to give up and say I get done with the game. Or you can look into the shops and take a look at some of these items that they sell that can make you stronger. But I'm looking at it from more like a free-to-play perspective. No judgment for those of you who like to spend money and be better geared and better prepared for the boss fight. That's fine, your choice. But in this video, if you like me, who's enjoy playing free-to-play game and would like to do as much as you can, not spending too much money or even money on it, then yeah, this video is for you. Okay, now without further ado, the first tips really is to turn off the autoplay. All right, so this is the autoplay here. Turn it off, because it is very good for majority of the game, like the dailies, weekly, some of this like stories, side mission is fantastic. You can just turn it on, let the game does its own thing. But when it comes to the bosses for the story, then turn it off. Second thing is that do turn on the auto medkit usage. I think the game by default is 75%, but I find it a little bit too high because if I'm doing side mission, I really don't need 75%. It burns a lot of like a medkit. So if you want to do face the bosses, set it to 75%. So every time your health dip below 75%, then you automatically turn it. Consume the medkit for you, or even hit the button on medkit and just use it. Don't wait until it's too late. This is the button here for the medkit. Just use it anytime, and also check the power of you against the boss, because every hero, depending on your gear, and I'll talk a little bit about how to increase your power in just a bit, would have the score to it. So mine is 169,000, and you try to take down bosses who similar to yours, definitely not exceeding yours or too close to yours, you will stand a much better chance against them. So yeah, tip number 1, turn off the autoplay, set the auto medkit usage, and also check the power against the boss. The second tips is really to pick a mobility build and kite as if your life depends on it. Now, what it means is that every heroes you can pick up the skills, and every skill may have a different kind of mobility to it. Some of them would like some of them could be quite a range, kind of like distant. Some of them could be a little bit more like this one here, a bit more like a melee range. So know your skill and know the mastery as well, because not every mastery is really good for boss fight, although the number could be very big, but you have got to pick something that's sensible for you to play. My suggestion is that take quite a fair bit of range, kind of like build, and that would help you to, like this one is range, right? Just fire and forget every 14 seconds, and it hits rather decently. So pick some of those things that help you with it. Now, some of this power, and I don't play many other heroes as well, but I do realize that some power like this one here will root your character onto a ground to give you a very insane amount of damage. My suggestion to you is that if you see an incoming kind of like a damage against you, do do move away from it, do kite around it. One thing good about this game, unlike many other ARPG that I play, is that the animation can be cancelled. The animation can be cancelled, meaning that you can move and then you can stop the animation, and that is really good because it does enhance the fluidity of the gameplay. All right, so that is important. So pick a mobility build and kites if your life depends on it. Move away. Keep kiting, because the longer you circulate around the boss and the more medkit you can use, because every 5 seconds you can use a medkit. So just kite around until you recover your health and to a level whereby you're confident, then go in a fight again. So far I don't really see any time limit except other kind of game mode, so do it. The third tip is really to learn the fight and to dodge all the big attacks. So that go without saying, the first time you face some of these bosses can be very, very exciting. I like it because the boss design is not generic. There are multi-stages to it. There are big damage that you can dodge either by using the dodge button, the one that, my face kind of block it, but the bottom right corner there's a dodge button to it, and the or just move away from it, right? Just move away from it and observe, because there's always a very kind of like how should I say, there's very kind of mechanism to it, predictable mechanism to it. You know that after this attack is going to be that attack. So time your skill against some of these attacks that could, sometimes the boss may be rooted. Like the boss is trying to throw something at you and you just need to move away and just do your big damage, a beam or whatever it is. So the skill does matter, but knowledge also matters. So learn the fight, dodge all those big attacks, because some of these big attacks will just hit you like a rock, and then after that the character just die. And my advice to you also is that you could spend gold in reviving your character. Sometime in the heat of the moment when you don't feel like losing, you may be tempted to spend the kind of gold in order to overcome the boss, because once your boss is overcome, you kind of like check, you can move on next stage. My suggestion is that unless you know the fight really well and you've made a mistake somehow and you found that it's going to be quite hard to get back the progress that you have, then spend the money. Spend the gold in reviving yourself. And I will not revive, because usually the boss will have 5x to it, meaning 5 times the health. I will not revive unless I get to the last 1x, meaning that the boss is just left with 20% health. Then I would consider using my gold, because it does cost quite a fair bit to revive and try to do a better job, but only if you know the mechanic, because otherwise you may just waste the money and you just keep throwing money in it, and it's not going to help you. You may just lose a lot of like gold along the way. There's never enough gold in this game. There's so many things that consume gold, so don't waste the money. Just learn to fight, dodge a big attack, right? So that is tip number 3. Number 4 is interesting. There's something called focus play here, and it's kind of I find it sometimes it help me or sometimes it kill me. It depends on what kind of experience you've got. So the focus play is something that you should be using, because it does auto kind of like change the camera angle to face the boss as you attack the boss, and that's useful. The only thing I find it not useful is when given 2 scenarios. One is that the boss tend to summon a lot of ads, and I need to finish off the ads before I kind of like focus on the boss, because otherwise the ads will keep like firing all the damage against me and I'm being overwhelmed. So number one of them. Number 2 is interesting, because when you focus on the boss, you are always in front of boss. But sometimes some of these bosses, right, they do a lot of front damage against you, and it's not really always advisable to face the boss. You have to somehow not face the boss and kind of like go somewhere else. Now you could do it, but sometimes I find that when you do a focus attack, I find it a little bit harder to see where I'm heading. I mean, it kind of like you just have to focus on the boss all the time. So you have to kind of like train yourself. Either you turn it off sometimes, I do that, or train yourself how to move when you are doing the focusing in that manner. And sometimes you know that the boss is going to do a front cone big damage, and the most unintuitive thing is really to get past the boss and go behind him, and your focus would then kind of like behind him. So yeah, just play around with the focus a little bit, but you'll get what I mean once you get the hang of it. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5 I covered already, which is the medkit to 75%, which yeah, somehow I kind of like counted as the first one. But yeah, that's tip number 4. Number 5, do all the dailies and weekly, including the PvP. Now the I'm not going to go through everything again, and I think a lot of you already see my video, right? Blitz is great for collecting badges. Most Wanted is great for collecting Omega card, and if you manage to get the prime target, you can get more items as well. Special Ops is also special ops will give you quite a lot of like gold and core and what have you. It's an all-rounder kind of like good stuff that you get. All right. And the battle challenge is a weekly that you also can do that give you a lot of like reward along the way. Arena is a PvP. Omega War, I find it kind of like hilarious because somehow for my character, I just can't PvP in a sense. I just participate and hope that I'm on the winning side. If I'm on the winning side, I get more reward. If I'm on the losing side, I get less reward. But either way, I'll get reward for participating. Dimensional Duel is one-on-one. And they try to match you with someone that is similar to your level and experience. I found that this one I have more luck with it. I think many people may just do an autoplay and get through with it because, again, winning or losing, you have reward either way. It's just that when winning, you get a little bit more, so it kind of incentivize you to win. But I found that I'm actually quite good at Dimensional Duel. I'm very poor at Omega War. Maybe some have really nice PvP gear, which I don't. But yeah, I mean, that's the point. But do all the dailies, do all the weekly, and that will give you a lot of gears to collect as well. All right. And the next tip, number 7, is collect all the reward, including the daily free chest or loot that you have. Now you have a lot of things here like records, right? You have challenges, collection, activity log. All these things will give you extra gear, extra gold, extra XP, extra whatever. So that is really something that you should look into to collect. Sometimes under the Omega Pass, you would get daily pass objective or season pass objective. Once you get it, you get XP. XP will turn into season reward that will give you again more reward as you pass the number of level that you have. I'm level 25 right now, right? So that is one thing. This season pass, Omega Pass. This is called event. This event button is interesting because all this event here, monthly check-in, for example, then I will again get the reward, to sort of like pick up all these things. If you play the Marvel heroes, you can't know all these things because there's all the check-in reward. But yeah, you got lock-in reward. As you play the game every day, you get all these reward along the way. You've got the so-called new reward like hero level up event as well. This is hero specific, so as in when you level up, you get a whole tons of reward for it to enhance your potential, for you to level up your squad and so on and so forth. So all these things again. Fury's secret mission is per hero as well. So every time when you do things like all these things are having a reward like core, like special items and so on and so forth. So do check out the event. Those are free stuff. Just pick. And last but not the least, there's a shopping cart here. I've already taken it. Maybe I have not. So this one, Daily Alpha Supply Box, is free. So it is come free once per squad. Just grab it. These are the things that you go in and grab it free. Sometimes the mailbox will send you something free as well, because as you down to say prime target, you get a free item here. So don't miss all these things because they are only valid for 7 days. Anything with a little red dot, just check out and check out all the free stuff. And last but not the least, if you are in an alliance as well. By the way, I have an alliance in Southeast Asia server, Titan 6 Southeast Asia server. If you check me out, it's Marvel Heroes is the alliance name. And you could go into the shop as well. Every week you can grab one of these for 100,000. It's very worth it, and of course you can get some of this like costume material as well. It's also very worth it. Those are not really like big amount of money, and you can get like, you know, once per week and so on. There are stuff. We are still trying to level up the alliance, but you know, if you are in the alliance, do check out some of these like shops or whatever that you have there. All right, cool. So don't miss all this free stuff, because you know all this free stuff is going to help you on getting stronger for your first hero. All right, just check out all this free stuff that you have. As and when all this red dot is going to be helpful. All right, so I mean, even this squad here, by the way, under squad there's squad training. You know, I don't know why they design something like that, because basically you just need to keep doing certain things and then you get like a whole bunch of reward. The next one is going to be like, you know, own 2 hero, reach 80, you got something, you know, reach 100 total level amount all hero, and what have you, you get all this like reward as well. But again, you know, you have to pick which one is your main hero. You can't really distribute all this reward to all your heroes. So I don't know. First hero is going to be the easiest one, but as you do more hero, I think maybe experience will help you along the way as well. All right, so that is the collect all the reward as we speak. Tip number 8 is that always craft a costume. Let me just show you. There's a costume crafter here, costume augmenter. So how this one works is that I only open up at a certain level, but don't miss those things. Don't dismantle any costume, even if it's lowest quality, right? So you can enhance a costume by like picking one of these things. Like I want to enhance this thing. So for example, then you pick 5 more costume that is of the same quality as this guy, and then you can upgrade this guy to a tier. Now, costume is very, very, very hard to come by, the higher tier one. I almost can't see any like my like for example the purple one. I don't see purple one that drop or this purple one that drop. It's so very hard to drop. See any purple one. I see at most a blue one. You know, once in a very blue moon. Majority of the gear is just like a gray one. So don't throw away the gray one, because every 6 grade one you can convert into 1 higher grade one. And then eventually you get more and more upgrade, and over time you get your costume. Costume to me is likely to be the hardest gear to get without paying. Now, if you want to spend money in the shop, yeah, I mean you can do costume, but costume is going to be very hard. So don't dismantle any costume, although you could do that. It's a waste of costume. Just keep combining them or crafting them. Now that go without saying that that same concept apply to cores as well, because that is what you can do. You can go to the core synthesizer, and that is where the this guy here, you can combine the cores very much like, I don't know, World of Warcraft, Marvel Heroes, whatever it is. If you have 3 of the cores, like, you know, the same color, you can actually combine them into one, and there's a chance that it will go up to a higher level. A chance, I think. So this one become a 2. So then you can have all 3 of them, combine them, and into a higher tier. So keep upgrading your core, even the one that you're having. Now there's a caveat to it. Somehow you may find the some loot boxes that allow you to pick the color of the core. So store those things. You know, don't just open it, because you never know sometimes what kind of color you need, and then when you need the color, you don't have it. So just now I shouldn't even upgrade some of this like core, because I do need to worry about that in the future. Will I be having some kind of like a core issue? So for example, like if you take a look at all these cores, some of them require like, you know, like a blue and a green, some of them require yellow and yellow. So depending on what is the next upgrade that you have, you may come across a color that you don't have. So when I have the problem, I'll use those loot boxes that allow me to pick the color that I want. So that become one of the tips I'd like to share with you, of course, that you could then, you know, manage your core with the gear that you've got, because badges is something that you get the most upgrade. I found that badges, because you do Blitz has tons of badges. Like, you know, it's so easy to upgrade any badges here. So these are the ones that give you all the badges. The game will give you a lot of badges. So much that you could just like fill up your bag and so on. So yeah, just do that. And the combine the cards as well. The Omega card, don't throw it away. Don't sell it or dismantle, or throw in a conversion machine or whatever it is. All this Omega card, combine, or you have sometimes you own some cards here. You own a lot of cards, so you can combine certain kind of sets together into a higher tier and a higher tier. Or you can just another one is that you could combine, say. Upgrade this card to be an even higher tier by having a set that go along with it. So that is my advice. Don't throw away any Omega card. And the best way to earn Omega card, most wanted, prime target. Those are things that give you, every day if you down 7 target, 7 most wanted targets per day, including the prime targets, you get at least 1 to 2, I think 2 Omega card or various kind of rarity per encounter. So that's quite a fair bit of cards they can earn by doing just most wanted on a daily basis. So so that is the tips. Another one is the convergence. The convergent box is something that also kind of interesting. It is a gambling kind of like a mechanism whereby anything that you that do not want, you can extract them into synchronized particles. So there are things that if you do the maps and so on, there are collections that you have. There are 2 things. One is side mission, the green color. The other one is the boxes like collection, which is the blue color boxes. So go and pick all these things up, and then throw it into this machine and get the synchronized kind of like particles there. There are things that you will see. Sometimes you see badges. Like if you have badges of the purples and blue kind of quality, you can throw it in as well. It will accept it. Don't throw any cards in, and don't throw any like a costume in. All right, my advice to you. And anything else that cannot be thrown into this machine, which is like the green as well as the gray badges, you can safely dismantle them for money and some kind of daily achievement and so on, or daily mission and so on. All right, so those are the things they can dismantle, but nothing else. Don't dismantle anything else. All right, cool. Okay. Number nine is to do all the side mission when you go into like an area. Let me just show you in just a bit very quickly. That's what I meant here. Now, when you come across any new area and so on, I'll turn on the autoplay as well, because I think that's what perhaps makes sense here. Let me just quickly hang on a second. Let me just quickly do the setting again. And the so now I can turn on autopay, and after that it will just do its own thing. So I just let it run on its own first. I'm not going to disturb it too much here. So the in essence, what is happening is that for each of this map here, you click on the map, there are basically 8 missions. You can see 8 missions and 5 collectible here. These are collectible. So make sure that you keep talking to different kind of people as the exclamation mark happens, and then keep picking up all the blue kind of containers. All right. Now, sometimes you may suddenly see a yellow quest here. Those yellow quests, you can't miss it. Those are time sensitive ones that reward you good costume. Like I said before, costume is hard to come by. So they reward you sometimes at least like kind of like green or even better kind of costume. So whenever you see a yellow one here, just don't drop everything, right? Just do the yellow mission, and now after that collect the costume. Costume is so hard to get by. All right, so remember, do all the side mission and the especially the yellow one. All right, now meet the kill count for each map, and that is tip number 10. What it means is that each of this map will have a list of mobs here. Each mobs here will have a kill count. Sometimes it may be ridiculous, but think about it. It's autoplay. So, like for example, you're washing dishes, preparing dishes, watching TV, watching my YouTube channel as well. You can turn it on autoplay like this one here until you hit like 120, right? 120 or whatever number that they ask you to, and then you can move on to the next one. You can see that where are they? So this is here, this is here, this is here, and this is here, right? So you have all these targets here. So do it. Now the only exception is that it's probably not worth it to do all the bosses at one time, because this is going to take a long time. I think it makes sense if you play a lot of heroes, and some hero you may down like 2 or 3. Then by the time you level up your 10th hero, you can get all these like 30. These guys are very difficult sometimes because it's just not enough people around sometimes, and also take a long time to down, and it takes a long time to farm for them to appear. Prime target is even harder. I've got another video on prime target. You have to keep killing off the smaller ones, and then the prime target may appear. So yeah, I mean, that is something that's the only exception that I say. Now, why do you care about all these kill counts on the mobs here? It's because of something called activity, the record activity logged, right? Because every time that you kill some monster here, you would get like all these villain. You can get things like core, or you can claim the core, for example. And then you can claim like some of these like power upgrade as well. So it's very, very worth it to just autoplay, spend time, and to take down all these requirement here. It's almost like a mini quest. Like kill 120 Dark Elf Warrior, kill 120 Evil Dark Elf Warrior. The number getting more and more ridiculous as this game progress to higher level. But it is just a ridiculous sometimes. Just set the autoplay. It will just play on its own. Just grab all this like reward, right? Like I mentioned. All right, cool. Then tip number 11 is that whenever the map show the prime target appear, and it will give you 60 seconds or 30 seconds to reach the target, drop everything you do to go for the prime target. Do you see a big slash kind of like a red kind of like a power red kind of like a thing here on the screen saying that prime target location, right? Like Nebula or Ultron, whatever. Drop everything, zoom to that. You just look at the map here and see where the prime target goes to. Sorry, I mean I'm doing two things at a time. Go into this guy here. It will tell you that it will spawn in about 30 seconds or so on. Just go there, drop everything you can, because it's going to be very rewarding. Now this yeah, so this is something that I learned as well. So all these things you just keep clicking. I think I got a reward there as well. All right, cool. So now tip number 12 is that level up your squad rank. That go without saying. This is like a paragon point. This is the squad. So the higher squad level, the higher you get. You got to upgrade all these things here. So the title, of course, will also play a part. But look at all these things here: attack, defense, and HP, and so on and so forth. These are the squad power that you can upgrade with all this material as you earn doing the mini quest of downing all the kill count against the target. Those things will help you. And this is also probably one of the only way, if you got really stuck, to up your squad power, to make all your heroes equally powerful against the enemy here. And also, so that's tip number 12. Tip number 13 is that have a good strategy in terms of the enhanced potential. Now, this is a kind of interesting thing, because this is how should I say, this is one of those specialization whereby, or just talent or whatever, whereby you cannot reverse your decision. Anything else, you can pick a new skill, what have you, but this is not something that you could do. Now, I'm still experimenting, but I think as you go higher and higher tier, the cost, like this one costs 30 ticket, and this one costs 45 ticket to upgrade, and I believe this one is actually quite cheap, either 20 or whatever it is. So just you have to pick some stats that you feel useful to you. My suggestion, things like the defense is really important, because it helps you mitigate damage. And this game, as you know, once the health is 0, then this game over, right? So I find that this is really, really important. Attack is important as well, because that kind of like boosts your DPS. I picked the health as well, because in a way it's kind of cheap, and also it just helped me survive a bit longer. For the next tier is that I go for attack, right? That is one thing I go for. Defense peer is also something that you could consider as well, because you kind of like peer defense of the enemies, and that kind of like up your DPS in some sense. But I need to figure out whether it's worth it or not. I think my gut feels think that it's worth it. Stamina recovery is not something that I find it useful that much, because I don't really use that much stamina as well. Then as you go for next tier, of course, I would like to go for defense on this guy here, and then even higher, I think there will be attack power that I'll go for. So you can't go up for 100% everything unless you play really long time, but if you do, then I think that is what you need to pay attention as well. I really should pay attention to what's happening here, because I may miss the yellow cow quest as well. All right, cool. So as you can see, I'm doing a lot of side missions, just autoplay. 2 out of 8 already I've done, and just click on this guy, and then I can do it. Do all the side mission. All right, cool. Then the tip number 14 is very strange tips, but I like it. I feel that it's something that I need to share with you. Is that pick a mobile device that suits your gameplay, suit yourself, because I'm playing this game on PC, I'm playing this game on my phone, and I'm playing it on my tablet as well. I found that on my phone I can perform much better against the bosses, because it's just kind of small enough for me to click all the buttons and so on. PC, I'm still finding it a little bit sluggish, and and I found that controlling the camera is not that easy without a touch screen. Tablet seems a bit just too big and too wide for me. Maybe just a bit of getting used to, but I found that the phone is actually pretty good. You don't need a high-end phone. I'm using a mid-tier phone, like it's only maybe less than $200 US dollar kind of phone, but it works perfectly fine, and I found that I have a lot of good success if I do with my phone. All right, and the last resort, if everything fails, is to level up other heroes as well, because I found that but as you level up other heroes, you collect other kind of like hero level up kind of like a reward, and it does help you to on your squad power as well. Now it's getting a bit dicey right now. Let me just quickly probably go back to I need a bit of attention. I just can't keep because it does require a little bit of management here in terms of medkit and so on. So I hope you find this video useful. By no means this is all the kind of like tips that's useful, but I hope these 15 tips is going to help you through this journey as you play this game. All right, so let me know in the comments box below if you are struggling still with other things that you cannot overcome, and I'm more than happy to help you out here. And okay, so I'll talk to you again next time. Goodbye.